Hi everyone, back again for another reaction video. And this one is for a film I've seen many times, so this is not a first time watching, but I very much like it, and I'm probably going to go through a lot of this director's work. This one is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is the latest film by Quentin Tarantino. This is a big inspiration of mine, this director. Before this, in school I was learning about film. Before this, I actually wanted to more do acting, but from this director and from some others, I really started to become fascinated in directing and what you can do and the style of directing and the way you can put a film together is so interesting and so fascinating. And I found that far more intriguing and interesting. And I seemed to have a knack for it too. I just seemed, something clicked more. Once I started to get relatively, once I got an idea together or someone gave me an idea for a film, a short film or something, I just, from just directors and all this, I'm able to form just little pictures in my head and ideas and how to edit it together and all this, right? But I wouldn't have been able to do this without inspiration from other directors, I think. I think I need just a few things here and there to kind of, fill in the gaps and all this. I can't just go completely off the cuff. Otherwise, I don't know where to start. I'm kind of like, okay, well, and end up just doing kind of coverage. But by getting a lot of inspiration by other directors and just different styles and all this, I'm able to think of just many different ways of putting a film together that really tells a story well and gives like emotion and all that. So one of the directors I really have to thank for that is Quentin Tarantino. He has a very distinct style and I love it. And it's really great, like just how he puts a film together, and particularly his dialogue. There's something about his dialogue as well. It's just like very poetic. Yeah, it's really good. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. But yeah, basically my first film, and I might actually put up my short films that I made in school, made back in high school. I haven't gone to university or anything. I've just gone to like secondary school or high school, and I learnt film studies there. And yeah, the first film I saw from him was Django, but I'll leave that for another time. But yeah, it's something about this director always, even if I've seen it before, there's always something different I see, always something really great and memorable about his films. And I think a lot of it's due to his direction. He's really got something about this director. And I think this is my favorite. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, but my favorite in regards to like the visuals. I think there's some really good shots in this film that are just incredible. And I'll be pointing them out as I watch it. Anyway, let's just get straight into this and we'll go from there. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, even though I've seen it many times. I hope you can get some good, ideas and all that, and maybe some things I point out, you can take that into account, if you're thinking of doing any film stuff, or, you just want to learn more about filmmaking, because it's such a vast thing that you can learn so many things about, and I think it's incredible film. Anyway, let's get into this, eh? All right, let's go. It's actually really exciting. My first Tarantino film to react to. Hopefully, I might actually try, if I don't see it in theaters, I'll really try to maybe watch the last Tarantino film for the first time. I might try to restrain from seeing it in cinemas, just so you get my first reaction. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get too excited and just go and see it anyway. I'm not making any promises on that.
3 of them and 1 of me.
He had to add that in. I think in almost all of his films, he's got the Wilhelm scream somewhere. I love that line. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Looking at bounty killer. Looking at an ugly owl who's about to get his jaw busted.
Ugly owl who's going to get his jaw busted. That's such a great line. There's something about that.
Now, if you think you're seeing double, don't adjust your television.
It actually is really cool. Like, they do look relatively similar, DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, now that I actually look at it. It's cool though.
And this is Alan Kincaid signing off from Hollywood.
Oh, this is a great zoom out shot. I absolutely love this. It's so weird. Such a weird opening shot, but it works so cool. Just a slow establishing shot. It's so great. And I love these backseat perspective shots in the film too, in the car. They're kind of like very much just locked in. They look really awesome. There he is, Quentin Tarantino. I just really wanted to have some fun and watch a Tarantino film. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Soundtrack is incredible in this movie too. Of course, like all of his movies have a really great, memorable soundtrack. This is so good. I love how the swinging the car around and everything. The camera's just so locked in. It's so good. Good old feet shot.
I just finished watching a Rick Dalton fucking film festival. I think I know who you are. Put it there.
Well, it's my pleasure.
I like this little tick he has in the film, like this little blink thing he does, and it's like a stutter, and it doesn't seem weird too. He seems to make it work.
Oh, sounds like a good friend.
I try.
Oh, I love that line. Brad Pitt says that throughout the film. I'll try. I've actually been saying it a lot myself now. I love it. Like when people say, you know, oh, you did a good job at this, or oh, you did that well, and this and that. I just go, I try. I love that line. I think it's really great. Something about Brad Pitt's character in this film that's very humble in some ways, but also badass. I don't know. There's something really cool about Brad Pitt's character in this. What's his name? Cliff Booth.
Of Tanner and the 14 Fists of McCluskey.
This reminds me of Sinister. Those shots. Even though I have seen it, I'm definitely gonna have to do a video on that film at some point, because that was one of the horror movies that really broke me for other horror movies. Like, it just really freaked me the hell out. That it kind of desensitized me. Sinister basically desensitized me to other horror movies. It was that freaky and just out there that it just, for some reason, it broke me. And there's not been many horror movies that have topped that for me.
And I watch.
That looks like an awesome theater room, by the way.
So much fun. All the shooting. I love that stuff, you know, the killing.
A lot of killing.
This is just Tarantino talking right now. Like that interview with Kill Bill that he did with that lady years ago. But it's so much fun, Jan.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because it's so much fun, Jan. Get it?
You Nazi bastards! Oh, that's so good. I love that shot too. That like shaky camera zoom and everything. Such a good shot.
Shit, fuck, crazy weapon. You do not want to be on the wrong side of. Boy, oh boy. You know, I practice with that.
I noticed this guy has a stutter. I've noticed this character, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, he has a stutter whenever his character gets very overexcited in certain scenes or overwhelmed. He brings that stutter in. It works really well, because like at the beginning, the guy came in, he was probably overwhelmed to see him there. So he's like, you know, and now he's, you know, getting overwhelmed by just talking about it and getting excited about it. Yeah, I really do like that he made that a part of his character. It works really well. I think for a good while, Leonardo DiCaprio was just seen as like a pretty face and not like a, you know, a great actor. But I don't know, man. He's really grown on me. I think he's an excellent actor, in my opinion.
I don't even know we're here.
I love this actor too. I don't know his name, but he's in most of Tarantino's films. Like him in, I really particularly liked him in Hateful Eight as well. And also he was in Reservoir Dogs. Actually, I really did like him in Reservoir Dogs too. His voice has got a grumbliness to it, which really works. And he was in Kill Bill, which was great too.
Oh, that's an old trick pulled by the networks. Now you take Bingo Martin, for example.
I really like, shit, I've forgotten his name. Hang on, I'll be right back. Al Pacino. Al Pacino, he's great. There we go, I'm back. Yeah, he's really awesome in this. I don't know, he's a cool actor, man. He just, when he really gets into it, he's particularly really great in The Irishman too.
A couple of years playing punching bag to every swinging dick new to the network. That's going to have a psychological effect on how the audience perceives you.
It's even psychological effect on him, getting his ass whooped all the time. Oh, damn, look at him. He's really getting to him. I love this edge light in these shots too. It looks really great. There's something about the colour and the lighting in this film that looks really great for the most part. This is a great one take too. I really like this. It goes over to this dude, ticket dude, and then the camera goes to like a low angle shot like this for a good bit. And the shot doesn't end here too. As he walks off, the camera goes into like a high angle crane shot, I'm pretty sure.
I gotta do fucking Italian goddamn movies. That's a fucking problem. Fucking bullshit.
See? It's a great shot, man. So good. He's losing. He's like a child. It's an awesome shot. It's so sneaky too. Like, you can really overlook that shot. I think I saw this movie like 3 times in theaters, actually. I really love it. And then I've seen it probably 2 more times outside of theaters. The production and design as well in this movie, as you've probably heard, is fantastic. Like, this movie really is convincing. It seems very practical for the most part too. And you're gonna have an adventure with that person later on. I love that whole scene as well, by the way. It's like, it's tense as hell and then badass as hell.
The Illustrated Man, Ray Bradbury.
I gotta say, I really like Cliff Booth's car. It, like being like a sports car, it really just suits his character as like a stunt dude. I don't know if you want to really call it a sports car, but it's without a roof at least, convertible. It's like a small car and everything, it's nimble. Just seems to really fit his character. Now, yeah, say what you want about Roman Polanski, like, yeah, he's done some horrific things, sexual charges and all that. But that being said, I do really like the film Rosemary's Baby, all things aside. But yeah, that being said, he did some horrific shit.
Hollywood real estate means you live here. You're not just visiting, not just passing through. You fucking live here.
It's a good tracking shot. This guy, I love how his mood changed so quick. He was like all doom and gloom, and now he's like all hopeful. Just by seeing him. Look at him getting it. Oh man. This is a cool side-on locked-on shot too. This shot, really awesome looking. Like, you feel the roughness of the car. It's so cool. It just makes the scene even more badass. Oh, it gets a bit of a skid out. Oh man, this is an awesome these shots are just awesome. Look at this shit. Such amazing tracking shots. This is how you film car scenes, man. Never been to a drive-in in my life. I'll have to do it at some point, because there's someone around my area, I think. A bit of a drive, but bit of a drive for a drive-in. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check out one at some point. This dog is a legend in it. I love how cool how well timed this scene is, just with like the commercials and the way everything's like edited together. It's so good. This is such a cool little scene. Like, I feel like some directors would probably cut this out, in the theatrical, but I just love how this whole movie includes all these little moments. It just adds to the character, I feel, of the film. Making dinner for him and his dog.
Christopher Jones, star of the sensational Life of the Streets.
I love how that's timed with the... and then...
4, 3, 2, 1. Pepe, get your behind behind that bar. I got a guest.
Now you see how he's doing his thing, reciting lines. It's actually kind of cool, though. It shows how committed, like, as an actor he is, even though he's fucking drinking alcohol along with it. It's cool. I like it.
Care to join me at my table where I entertain my guests?
I think it's actually a really good idea how he's doing this. Like, he's learning his lines through a recorder. And he's kind of just naturally responding with the lines that he's meant to say. I feel like that's a better way to learn it, because it's making it more natural. You're not just sitting down at a table, just remembering your lines. You're actually kind of just doing your daily thing, but kind of naturally trying to flow it in. So then when you're actually acting it out, it feels more natural and human. I think that's a really good choice that he did on this part. And I guess, I wonder if actually actors do this in real life. Like, they actually just walk around their house doing whatever they have to do and just learning their lines. I think that'd be a great idea.
Johnny, what else you heard about me? I heard you're pushing.
It's a cool change of scene too, change of setting, how the camera kind of goes down. There's just a nice flow to this movie in regards to just how certain scenes are shot. I feel like there is probably a cut here. There's probably a bit of CG used here. But that's a really cool transition from character to character. It's really neat. This is a badass looking car too. Look at that thing. I love how this music was integrated in Bad Times at the El Royale as well, with Chris Hemsworth. Ah, this is good fun. I love this movie. There's not even like many action scenes in this movie, but there's just something about it. There's a certain charm in this movie that I love. It really feels like a time capsule in the sense of a film. It's so good. This is a cool shot coming up soon too, I think. Is it actually this shot here? Yeah. It kind of goes into like an overhead crane shot. So cool. Oh no, my bad. I think it's now. Here we go. It's a cool fucking shot, and the lighting and the color. Such a cool shot. Yeah, I love this whole way of exposition. It's kind of cool. I don't know, it's kind of humorous. It's exposition, sure, but I don't know, it works.
Cute, short, talented guys who look like 12-year-old boys.
Ha! This guy's all disappointed.
I never stood a chance.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed too, let's be real.
Oh, fuck you, Dr. Saperstein.
I'm all for his idea though. Like sitting outside, you know, having a coffee. I don't know, something about the outdoors is very refreshing. Would you agree? Like, what is it? Like being in like a concrete jungle, or is being in a house, you know. You don't realize the amazing effects of being outdoors. It's really great. Like, whenever I feel like exhausted or tired, I like, you know, go for a walk or sometimes I like go for a run or something. And that just like revitalizes you. You would think going for a run would make you more tired, but it's very strange. Like, yes, it makes you tired in regards to your muscles, but you feel more alive and like awake. It's very paradoxical, but it works, eh? Damn, she's sleeping real good. I love the flow of scenes, like that music, and now this music's playing here.
Well, it sounds exciting.
Yeah, lightning in a bottle. Now,
This guy's so enthusiastic, I love him.
I want to give him a mustache. A big, droopy, Zabata-like mustache. Now, about his jacket.
Is this what Tarantino's like on set? I wonder. I have a sense that he's probably kind of like that. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't know.
How's the audience gonna know it's me?
I hope they don't. I don't want them to see Jake Cahill. I want them to see Caleb.
It sounds like he's really being genuine there. Like, he's not doing that to just hide the fact that it's him. He wants to really immerse him in this role, which actually works really well. Like, this is one of his best performances he's done for a while, it seems. It worked. He immersed himself into the character, which is, I think, the best way to be a good actor is really just lose yourself in the character. I love that you actually see the flamethrower for a brief second there too in the shed. That's such a great callback later on in the film to that flamethrower. Like, the first time I saw this movie, I was like, are you fucking serious? He's gonna fucking cook her? This is a great shot. This is a really good one take scene, and it's so tricky too. It's one of those one takes that you can overlook. And the way I think it works so well is because it constantly keeps moving and you're paying attention to this actor too, which is really awesome. And then he's just chilling at the back here, doesn't give a fuck.
Hey? Yeah, you. My name's Cliff. I'm Rick Dalton's.
See, you don't need to see Bruce Lee, or the guy who's playing Bruce Lee, talking in this bit. Because that's the beauty of a one-er, is you don't always have to reverse shot. You can actually just stick to one actor at some points. And you can still hear them talking, but you don't need to see their face all the time when they're talking. Their voice says enough that you don't need to see their expression all the time. And that's the beauty of a one take if you can do it right.
That means we get into a fight, I accidentally kill you. I go to jail.
Anybody accidentally kills anybody in a fight, they go to jail.
I love these swings too, because it adds to the intensity of it. What a great scene. Oh man. Here we go. Still all a one, by the way, which is so impressive. Oof, what a hit. Still a oneer.
Try that
I thought
again.
they cut at this point, but nope. They might have cut there. Choreography of this is really cool too. Even though it's a short fight, it looks awesome. And it shows Cliff Booth's fighting capability. Oh, this scene's great. This whole dialogue scene is so good. Like, you learn so much about the main character. I mean, we kind of already know the details of his character, but this really cements it in and shows he's actually just sinking himself deeper into it by reading stuff that's confirming that to himself.
When we're on set, I prefer to only be referred to by my character's name.
Yeah, she's really wise for a character, and he's like, "Are you serious?"
If I can be a tiny bit better, I want to be.
Yeah, she's serious.
He's a genius, you know. I mean a once in every 50 or 100 years kind of genius.
What are you, 12?
Yeah, for real.
I'm 8.
This is 8?
What are you? What's the story?
I haven't finished it yet.
I didn't ask for the whole story.
Yeah, people don't get that question, eh? Like, what's the movie about? And then they literally tell you everything. Then they spoil the whole thing. Just give me a synopsis. You know? I guess that's what you gotta say. What's the synopsis? But then again, I do notice some people, when you tell them what the movie's about, you can see them wanting to know more. So I kind of just leave it very small and say, oh, it's about this. And you can see kind of a look in some people's face. They're like, tell me more. I'm like, no, I don't want to tell you more. Go and watch the damn thing. So it's kind of funny how that happens. Not everyone does it, but I notice some people, like, they're like waiting. It's because they're used to people just telling them everything about it. Anyway, let's carry on. I wonder if you met any people like that do that.
He could break any horse that you could throw at him. Back then, he just had a way.
She's really listening too. Like, she's got the book down. She's watching his body language.
Jeepers, this sounds like a good novel.
She's still got a personality though, even though she's all wise and everything. She's not this dead wooden thing. She's still got a personality, which is cool.
Rick Dalton? You bet. Jim Stacy.
Oh, this bit's hilarious, the whole bit with how they added him as the actor in The Great Escape. It's a really weird jump cut choice. I don't know why they did that.
No kidding.
It's a really... They do it again, and they have a little click noise. I don't know what the meaning behind that is, but anyway, it's unusual. Yeah, it's Tarantino, isn't it? Sometimes it just catches you off guard with something like that.
I saw on the movie, and during that brief moment, I apparently was on.
Touches his shoulder. Gong. I don't know. That piano just adds to it. I love it.
One, please. 75 cents.
Wow, that's like such a cheap price. You're lucky to pay $7.50 nowadays. She's like such a free spirit. She's a cool character. I wonder if she was like that in real life, or they just kind of added it in, but that's cool. That would be such a weird thing to do, wouldn't it? Like, if you're actually an actor in the movie, and then like you're watching it and hearing people's reactions to you as like the actor. That'd be such an interesting experience, and especially if people didn't know you were there. Nah, this is when you see the actual scene for real. This is kind of cool how they do this. I remember, I think YMS, or Your Movie Sucks, said they should have changed the camera on this part to make it look like the show. That's actually a good point. It could have been different if they done that, and I'd be curious how that would play out. Is there a guy that does a spit? There we go. I thought there was. And also just because Tarantino does that in a lot of his movies. There's a particular character that just spits in one of those things. Or just spits on the ground. Tarantino definitely has a liking for westerns, and he does a damn good job at it, I think. Like, even the Kill Bill, the second one particularly, has a kind of slightly western feel at times.
Bar, I have a guess.
That's a really cool lighting too, the way the light's beaming from outside. That looks awesome looking.
At some point,
This is a cool camera movement too.
And push back.
He forgot his line. This whole dramatic thing is like, shit.
Maybe he already has.
He's a growl.
Maybe. Damn it! I fucked this whole thing. No, Sam, I didn't.
Oh no, he's getting in his head.
Maybe I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like his boots.
I don't know, man. I think he's playing it up too much. But the whole. This is a great use of jump cuts too. Like, this is brilliant. It's humorous, and it's like he's just frantic.
Hey, fucking whiskey, sir. I couldn't stop a fucking beer for it. Make a promise to yourself you're gonna stop fucking drinking.
Bruh. Oh, I love this shot. And the way it looks like he's looking at us. Because then he's looking at himself, but he's looking at us. And it's a very intimidating shot. And then what he's saying too is like, oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is... I love this scene. This is such a good bit with the music. Another great driving scene. Man, what a movie. I won't lie, I've got this soundtrack on my phone. Every now and then I listen to this soundtrack and I'm just like cruising listening to this music. Window down, you know, this particular soundtrack. And this song in particular. Look at that sun. And no one asked you to. I love the kind of like camera movements that I kind of go in and out and all this. It's like, that really adds to it, I think. It's so good.
Want me to stop your cough while driving?
Damn, girl. He's considering it.
How old are you?
18. Feel better?
You got some ID, you know.
Yeah.
Like a
How
driver's
should I believe you?
license
Are you joking?
A driver's license. She's in your car, man.
Just fine, ain't you, Shorty?
I'm fine, Scott.
Here we go. He's in the zone now. He's getting ready. Got the recording going. Yeah, he's good. He's cool. It's a cool shot there. How it goes all the way down to his shoes. Going up the... That's cool. Yeah, he's so much better than before. It's more subtle, but still intimidating. Not too overdone. And this sounds funny. I'm judging an actor trying to act. I really find that really funny and meta.
They haven't hurt you?
Not yet, I ain't. But that can all change.
Oh, it's a cool cut. Bam!
$50,000 in my lap! Or I'll eat this little picture down a well!
I love that fucking dirt that gets stirred up.
I loved it.
I love this shot too. This is a good little... Not really a one-up, but it's a good lingering shot. And like, he's back to character now. Like, you can see the stark difference between what he played and what he did before. Like, that was losing himself into the character. This is adorable.
I've ever seen in my whole life.
Damn straight. Here we go. The tension is so greatly established. I don't know, greatly, is that a word? Anyway, it is now. Sounds better than great. It greatly establishes, like, the tone, the tension, just straight off the bat. Even the sound of, like, there's like a windmill squeaking in one part, I'm pretty sure. Sounds so good. Such a good scene. Yeah, that metallic creaking.
Give him a look-see.
Yeah, sure thing.
The music is so good in this bit too, very western. It's awesome. See, he still brings the western back even in modern times. And Tarantino definitely loves his westerns.
What's your name?
Cliff Booth.
How do you know George?
I used to shoot westerns here at the ranch.
Interesting use of Dutch angles now too. Gives a kind of sense things are off. Works well though.
Why is that impossible?
Because me and George like to watch TV on Sunday night.
Ooh, hard close-up now. It's a great use of editing and close-up use as well.
And this...
Eh.
He'd stop.
Damn. He's pushing it. This man's got some balls, I must say.
And you never know.
Oh yeah, poor Mousie's trapped. Ugh. So nasty. Place is a damn trash bag.
Gave all these hippies permission to be here?
Yes, who the fuck are you? That's tough, because it doesn't look like there's anyone else there aside from them. So, that is tough. Like, he doesn't want to be all alone, especially when he's blind. You know, so he's kind of stuck. I feel sorry for the old dude, really. If they are taking advantage of him, what can he do? He lets the authorities know. Then what? You know? He has to maybe go to a nursing home. Maybe he doesn't want that. So he's a bit stuck. He's in a sticky wicket.
Talk to him. Do you believe everything's all right?
Not exactly.
This was a mistake. You should leave.
Way ahead of you.
Yeah, tone's changed real quick, hasn't it? You're all nice and shit to him. Look at you now.
George isn't blind. You're the blind one.
Oh, this soundtrack. Look at him just strolling out of this bitch. Like, they're all telling you, stuff you and everything, get out of here. And look, they bust his tire. Like, how's he supposed to leave now? What are these mixed messages? Oh, this is an awesome shot. The way it kind of slowly goes up. So awesome. Great use of camera movement.
You know, that's not my car. That's my boss's car.
That guy did a good little performance there when he said, that's not my boss's car. The guy's like, oh shit, wait a minute.
Fix it.
Ooh.
Fuck you.
Oh. Wrong word. Oh, this is a great foot shot too. Just walking up to him and then just... BAM! Knocked him off his feet. Damn, man. He's a flower.
Ladies.
Oh, ladies. Bam. What do they mean by he's a flower? Someone please explain it. Is it like he's innocent or something? I don't know. That punctured tire says something else. Thank goodness it must have been a fair distance. That dude wouldn't have been able to change the tire that quick because he just got his ass whooped. So thankfully it took this guy probably a while to get back. Otherwise, yeah, bad news bears would have been for him because I assume that guy's got a gun. He would have just messed him up. Ooh, that's a cool shot. Just in general, I think there's something cooler about driving at night. Not even just in movies, but just in general. Particularly after it's rained. The way the lights reflect on the road, I think this looks really awesome. Particularly after I watched Drive, I started to notice that more, funny enough. The movie Drive. I'll have to do a video on that at some point. This is hilarious, this scene. This is literally like what I'm doing right now, but they're doing a react. So literally, I'm watching a reaction of a reaction right now. Yeah. I love all the comments he does, like even...
Smooth leap.
Yeah. Smooth leap. When he goes up to the glass and smiles.
Flick called Operazione Dynamite, directed by Antonio Margheriti.
Yeah, the dude from freaking it's a reference from his Inglourious Basterds film, which is hilarious. Margheriti. It's a cool low angle shot, I think. Down like below the seat. I don't know, something cool about that shot. Really shows the intensity of the gear changing too. And there we go, Cliff got some work going as well.
When this whole European journey is over, I think we've reached the end of the trail, Cliff.
Damn, they've known each other quite some time. Must have been quite a rough reality to handle. He had to put a split screen in somewhere, didn't he, Tarantino? It's a good choice to use it though at this point.
Farewell.
Oh, this is a great song choice too. Because for like the end of that friendship or, you know, partnership, whatever, or both. Pretty much this whole movie has been just valet parking. That's been the thing. Like, look, this guy's parking their car, I think even at that other place. But there's a lot of valet parking throughout this film. I've never experienced that once in my life yet. Maybe we just haven't been many places. That is true, actually.
Now it's time for what I know you've all been waiting for. A little fanfare, please.
That is really funny that they have that little bit. That now the moment you've all been waiting for. Like, for people that love, like, Tarantino violent scenes. Yeah, this is the moment they've been waiting for. That is really funny that they put that little bit in. That's very Edgar Wright. Like, that's the first director I've seen that integrates the TV into the story so well. I think it's absolutely brilliant how he does that in his movies. Anyway, let's carry on.
Yellow cab dropped Rick and Cliff in front of the house.
Hey, get right here. Get
Man, those hippies ambush these people real late, don't they? They probably don't even know what the bloody time is, honestly. They're just so high, like every bloody one else in this movie too at the end. Everyone's actually intoxicated at the end of this movie by something, some drug or some alcohol.
Tonight?
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, that's why, another reasoning, because the movie does get extremely violent at that point, and I know some people get really affected by it, like, oh my god, it gets so violent, and he's like a monster at the end. But it might also be because of the effect of the drugs too, that loses his sense of, you know, morality, or, you know, what he's actually doing. Yeah, that goes out the window. Great soundtrack once again. And it gives a weird ominous feel when you see this old car coming up too. It's a brilliant choice. Huh. Yeah, as soon as he switched that blender off, he was like, what is that hunk of shit? It gives him some liquid courage, as they say.
The hell are you looking at, you little ginger hair fucker?
Got him. I love he's just drinking from the blender cup or whatever.
I mean, where the fuck are we, man? We are in fucking Hollywood, man.
Shaky ass voice. It's when you know someone's a bit loose. A few screws are loose. It's like, man.
Too ready to kill some biggies.
Yeah, that too.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Just hurry up.
Yeah, just a little minute.
Yeah, she'll be back in a minute. She'll be gone in a minute. Yeah. It's starting to kick in, isn't it? And Bernie's like, you're right, boss. Oh, gosh. The Bernie's like, boss, it's mine. Oh, yeah. Whoa. This is the best response ever.
Can I help you?
See, that's what you do, everyone. If someone comes to rob your joint, you're just like, can I help you?
You are real.
I'm as real as a donut.
Oh, why donut? No wonder he laughs. Damn, he was so smooth with like just. Oh man, he just caved a nose in with that. Damn, that dog's not taking it either. He'll just keep biting harder. Oh, here we go. Oh, stepped himself. Oh, snouted him. Wow, man. Bad idea, lady. Your face is morphed into that phone now. In that picture. Oh, just every object in the house. She becomes, oh, the sound design of that. Yeah, she's done. She's done for 10 lifetimes. Now he finally is aware of what the hell's going on. Oh my gosh, look at her face. Can you imagine that happening? You're just like chilling out and someone just busts into your room all messed up looking like that. I'd just be like, can I help you? Here comes this. I really wish you saw my first reaction to this. I knew it was the flamethrower before you even saw it. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, great use of a snap zoom there too. Oh, she's getting roasted. In a pool, of all things too. Like she's getting cooked in a pool. Gosh, dude. I think she got the most mauling out of everyone. Oh, then again, that lady's face got quite... No, that lady got more messed up, I think. Yo, they all got messed up. Like, even that dude got his junk all chewed up.
We have to come out here again just to wake her ass up.
Hey, I'm not gonna die. Maybe a limp, but I ain't gonna die.
These paramedics must be like, these dudes, like, after seeing a freaking murder, they're like the coolest motherfuckers out.
Good friend, Cliff.
I tried.
There we go. I try. Oh, I love that line. Man, what a movie. What a fucking turn of events, man. This is good. Like, even this scene aside, like, this scene is great. It's so fucking nuts. But the movie in general is just such a ride that you don't see much. Just in regards to just, it takes its time, but it's just very enjoyable to watch, I think.
Or not, I got a flamethrower in my tool shed.
From the 14th Fist of McCluskey.
It's quite a dangerous weapon, isn't it? Like, if they were in your house, like inside your house, and you ripped out a flamethrower, you're gonna ruin the house along with the thieves. Yeah, I guess they'll do the job though, and your house.
Rick, would you like to come up to the house for a drink and meet my other friends?
What a nice ending. If only this happened in real life. All those motherfuckers just get torn to shreds. No wonder that happens. It's a big fuck you to that whole event. That's why Tarantino did that. It's just like Inglourious Basterds, you know, it's more of a, what if this happened instead? You know, that would be more better in some points of view. To the general populace, I guess you could say. Would be more for this to happen than the latter, that's for sure. It is a really nice ending though, in a sense, like, oh, you know, that lady didn't actually die, that Sharon Tate that was pregnant, because that's really messed up that they did that. And just killing a woman, just cause, you know, for whatever the fuck the reason, and not just killing her, but her child, like, and almost having the child too, you know, it takes some fucking nerve to do that. It's pretty messed up. But hey, this is a nice ending to it. If only Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton lived next door. Oh, well. Yeah, once upon a time, that's right. If only that happened. Damn straight it's written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. What an experience this was. That was a great camera movement too, by the way he walks up the driveway and the camera just kind of goes along to this shot, and that's where it ends at. Beautiful shot. Yeah, I'm going to go straight into my list of things I like. I think there's going to be a lot here. Maybe even more than what I saw last time, but it might be the same. Like, I've pretty much stretched this film out in regards to just all the things I like. I think it's pretty much to its peak, but who knows? It might be something else I notice it's even, you know, more great that I didn't notice the other times. But anyway, I'm gonna get into that now, and then we'll go from there. Well, I'll be damned. It actually has a few more things I like, even in this viewing, and there was a lot anyway. So let's get into it, hey? This is a long list. So let's dive straight into it. So the first thing I liked is there's a lot of great visuals in this film. Fantastic visuals and just solid filmmaking. I think, yeah, as I said in my reaction somewhere, this is one of the best, I think, Tarantino films visually as well. His other movies are really good too. Like, I think they've slowly gotten better and better. Don't get me wrong, his movies were never like terrible in this regard. He always made really well filmed, very intentionally filmed movies. But I think this one is even the next level to that, and it's really cool to see that he's improved on that level, I think. Alright, so let's get into this. So let's get into that. So the first thing is camera composition. Really solid, just cinematography throughout the whole movie. Just really great shots and all that. Number two, camera movements. Particularly very intentional camera movements, very purposeful, and make it more immersive and just really add to the scenes and sometimes the tension and the build-up of the film. Number three is master shots. So this is like, they're kind of like establishing shots. Like sometimes you use like a master shot. It's kind of like a wide type of shot to kind of set up a scene of two characters talking, right? But the way that master shots are used in this film, you could almost say, I was going to say long takes for this movie, but I prefer to more say master shots, because even though there are some good long takes in this, I more prefer to use the word master shots. It's like a shot to kind of establish the scene and the characters, but it's the way they do the master shots. These kind of like long takes, and these sweeping shots of kind of, like particularly the Bruce Lee scene. That's a really good shot. Like, you could say it's a long take, and maybe I should just say long takes. Let's keep going. So number 4 is the lighting. Actually, I'm going to do that combo. So number 4 and 5 is lighting and color palette. So these work in tandem together really well. But particularly that the color in this film is so vibrant and beautiful. I think this is a thing throughout a lot of his films, and but particularly this one, I notice it a lot, and it's such a gorgeous looking film in that regard. Alright, so the next thing, number 6, is production design. Yo, the production design in this movie is so impressive. It's so, like, it really does put you back into that setting. And they do this so flawlessly. It's really jaw-dropping how great this film looks in regards to the production design. And then on top of that, the way the lighting and color palette and the composition, they all work in tandem together to create this really beautiful looking setting that's just, yeah, it's incredible, I think. Alright, next thing. Number 7, this is something new, but I have to give this because I think it kind of really nicely ties the movie together and makes it flow really nicely. And that's transitions. The way this movie works in tandem with everything. There's a nice flow feeling to the movie, and it feels, I wouldn't say it's like pacing, but it's like every scene kind of nicely flows together with a sound or with this like sweeping camera movement, like how Leonardo DiCaprio is like sitting in the pool, and then the camera kind of goes back and then goes all the way down, and then you see Sharon Tate because they're like neighbors, so the camera moves completely over to her location. So that's a, you know, brilliant way of making this movie flow together really nicely. So I think they did that really well. So it's not transitions in regards to the fancy editing, like, you know, how, nothing wrong with this, but how like Edgar Wright makes transitions and these fast camera movements, and like, you know, it goes up and then zoof or whatever, you know, and then like these camera swings or whatever, you know, nothing wrong with that, but that's not always what makes a good transition. It's the cool stylish stuff. It's like just kind of making it so smooth and effortless. Well, at least it feels like that anyway, and it makes the film really nicely worked, very fluently. I think this movie did that. I think this movie did that particularly really well. Okay, the next thing, number 8, is the acting. So yeah, really solid acting. I think this is something all of Tarantino's films. He picks a great cast for starters, but also like the acting from everyone is really great, and you know the directing probably is part of it, but also just the great actors as well. So yeah, great acting. Okay, so the next thing, along with the acting, there's some really good line delivery, and this is also thanks to another aspect I'll mention soon. But the line delivery is really good, just especially in a comedic sense. Brad Pitt is really great at that. Leonardo DiCaprio is really great at that, particularly. But even the others are really awesome too. Even like Al Pacino is awesome in this. But like, just the whole cast really do a great job at just delivering the lines that they're given. So that's also probably thanks to the directing, also the actors themselves, and then also something else I'll mention soon too. Anyway, so the next thing, number 10, is chemistry and performances. And this is particularly because of Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt playing Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton. And that being said, I barely remember any characters' names in movies. So this is saying something that I remember both their names. So yeah, really great like chemistry in the performances. I thought so, and that really added to the characters, and then also the emotion in the film as well. So I thought that was really excellent how that was done. The next thing, number 11, is the music. The music in this movie, Tarantino's been great at this throughout his whole career. He really seems to have a great knack for picking the right music, and this particularly being in the 60s or late 60s, he uses a lot of that music, and it's just incredible, and the way it integrates the radio as well playing. Okay, so number 12, the dialogue. The dialogue is why I was saying before about the line delivery, why it's so great, and that's because of the dialogue, and that's thanks to Tarantino once again, because he usually writes, I think for all of his movies he's written most of the script and dialogue, and he does an excellent job, you know, doing that. This is something he's been consistent throughout all of his movies. If anything, it's just only gotten just always better, but it was always great. I think he's always done a great job, I think, with dialogue, and yeah, it's obvious in this movie as well. The next thing, number 13, is the story. See, we have this character that's slowly like degrading or just not having as much fame as he used to, and then also the 60s is also degrading, right? And it's going into the 70s, so it's this like transitionary period, and that's basically what the story is. It's like this transitionary period, and that's really cool. I like that in a sense. Next thing, number 14, is the characters. Now, not all characters. I think Sharon Tate's character is very much just under the radar, but it is nice how that whole thing plays out though. But the characters I'm talking about here is Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth. Them just in general, I have to give a point to that because they're just so great, you know. And it's not like Cliff Booth isn't like this character that you know a lot about. He's just this really cool, badass character. But like that being said, he isn't perfect. You know, he's done some things. You know, he's had a past of, you know, done some stuff and has rumors about him. So, but he's kind of just cool with it, and he just kind of goes with the flow. He's a really just laid back character. There's something about him, like he's more laid back than the hippie characters, which is really funny because the hippie characters are supposed to be like all these free spirits, but they're, you know, all dogmatic in their own ways of thinking, you know, because of because of Charles Manson kind of, you know, probably brainwashing them a little bit, you know, with his ideas. So Rick Dalton's really the example they should be, you know. He's just a cool, laid-back character for the most part, and there's just something really badass about him as well. Yeah, so I really like his character. But then Rick Dalton as well, like he's just, as I said, he's like this character that things are falling apart around him, like especially his career. Maybe not things are falling apart, but particularly his career is kind of slowly on the downgrade. And he has to, at some point, put his pride aside with the whole, you know, doing foreign films, or particularly that type of foreign film, so he can, you know, keep his career going for a bit longer. And that, you know, that wasn't so bad. I think he overinflated all that, and he put his ego aside, and, you know, it ended up being okay. So yeah, that you know, that was an interesting character. You know, you could almost say that's a bit of an arc as well, like how he decides to end up doing it. And like even these characters, you can kind of imagine them still having a great life afterwards. You know, I don't know about Cliff Booth. I hope he still gets some roles because I think Rick Dalton's helped him a lot with that. So I don't know how his life's going to be after these circumstances. But it almost seems like things are going to work out for Rick Dalton, and he's probably going to get back into acting thanks to Sharon Tate, and he'll probably get into some films with other directors now, and Roman Polanski. Say what you want about Roman Polanski, but, you know, it seems like he's probably on the uphill slope again. So really, it seems like it's an amazing ending, actually. You can kind of imagine this great ending for these characters and a great progression through their life, even still. So I don't think, like, that whole thing of Rick Dalton has to now leave and keep his savings and all that. That may not be the case. He might actually end up with a correct career still. So it's really cool to speculate that and still go, wow, you know, he still might have a great career afterwards, after this film, after the credits roll, you know. Anyway, the next thing, number 15, the humor. It's not a huge thing in the film, but particularly at the end, oh my gosh, like the brutality of it almost becomes comedic, but I think that's intentional. But just throughout the film, like just the dialogue and just little moments here and there, there's some good bits of humor, and that's also thanks to the, you know, actors doing a great job, and the dialogue, just all of it plays together and creates this good moments of humor, you know. Next thing, number 16, brutal/shocking moments. Particularly because of that last bit. Like if it was just that bit with Cliff Booth leaving that hippie camp and then whooping that dude's ass, I wouldn't give it a point for brutal/shocking moments. But it's because of that very ending. Oh, it really goes, oh yeah, this is Tarantino, here we go. And as I said, that moment on the TV where it's like, now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I know some people were a bit annoyed about that. They were really just into the whole cool, immersive setting they were creating, and these characters were enough. You didn't have to have that big brutal scene, and I can see that. I can understand that criticism, but at the same time, it's like Inglourious Basterds once again, with how it's like a change of history for the better. But yeah, as I said, it's played off kind of humorously as well, although still brutal. It's kind of cartoonish in a way as well, so you don't take it so seriously. But yeah, definitely, all that being said, it's a very brutal and shocking moment that is very memorable at the end, I think. Alright, the next thing, number 17, badass moments. This is because of Cliff Booth. Like, him whooping Bruce Lee's ass, for starters, and showing his potential as a fighter, you know. And then also going to the hippie camp, you also see him whoop that other guy's ass. And just the coolness about him. As I said, he's a very cool character, but still very a proactive dude. He's not like sitting around on the couch and smoking weed. No, he's actually very proactive and still taking action with things. So he's an interesting character. I really, like, the more you think about him, he actually is a really cool example of a badass human being, in a way. Like, he's not perfect, you know, he does have his flaws, but he's a pretty cool dude. Anyway, next thing. So yeah, I grant badass moments to Cliff Booth. Number 18, the tension. This is because of that hippie scene. When he goes to that Spawn Ranch, man, that scene is very tense. That scene kind of reminds you of the Inglourious Basterds scene as well. It really amps up the tension really well. Number 19, the build-up. And actually, particularly that Spawn Ranch scene is a great scene of build-up. The way it kind of rises up in tension, it's like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? And then that really badass release, it's like, oh, it's like a sigh of relief, but it's like, oh my goodness, that guy got pummeled. But then, like, there's still a little bit of tension because that dude's coming back on the horse. So it's like, oh gosh, tell me he gets away. Because he probably had a gun. I think he did have a gun on him, that Tex dude. So, yeah, thank goodness he did get away. But yeah, that was a really just great moment of... But the overall movie is basically build up to that last scene, in a sense, I feel. So I feel like if that scene wasn't there, it wouldn't have the same effect. You know, I feel like you need that release. Because I kind of feel like it is building up to that last scene. Keeps amping up the characters, the story, and everything. Next thing, number 20, is the setting. It's a very beautiful setting to film. And Tarantino was definitely very passionate about this particular time. Probably in his life and all that as well. So you can see his passion in this movie with this setting. But yeah, just the way this movie looks, particularly because of that setting, is absolutely gorgeous. And then the way the characters are formed from that. Yeah, it's a really great setting, that's for sure. Next thing, number 21, rewatchability. This is my 6th time I've reviewed this film, or written a kind of thing like this, a list, I'm pretty sure. So that's 6 times I've watched this movie. So... yeah, it's probably not going to be my last either. But yeah, so very rewatchable in my opinion and very enjoyable. It's one of those great movies too, you can probably kind of put in the background and just kind of let it play, you know. Number 22, the runtime. So I wouldn't give this movie a point for pacing. I think for some people they could find this movie boring. But for me, I don't want it to end. It's one of those movies where I don't care how long it is, I'm just so in for the ride and I'm all for it, you know. So that's why I have another thing in my list called runtime, and that's like, I don't care how long the movie goes for, I'm just so into it, and I'm so into the setting, I'm so into the characters, I'm so into the story, I'm so into how it's put together, that I don't care how long it is. So, next, and this is the last thing, number 23, the ending. As I said, it's a really nice ending to wrap things up, and it gives a nice hopeful ending as well to how things could play out, and you can kind of speculate and go, oh wow, you know, they're probably going to end up really even greater after this event, you know. So, yeah. Or even, maybe I should say even greater in regards to their careers and where they'll probably go from there. So, yeah, I really love the ending as well. So, yeah, what an incredible film. 23 things I like about this movie. I'm definitely going to have to go back through most of Tarantino's films because I think at this moment this is my favourite one of his. Which I know some people will want to chase me with pitchforks right now because they're like, how can you like this more than, you know, Pulp Fiction or, you know, what's some other one that's... I think like a lot of people say Pulp Fiction is like their favourite movie of all time. So for me to say this is even better and my favorite Tarantino film, some people would want to put me on a stake for that. But hey, I'll have to go back and probably watch it again, Pulp Fiction, and see if there is more I like about it. Don't get me wrong, I do love that film as well, and I'd still give that movie like a 10 out of 10. Pulp Fiction, I think all of his movies are a 10 out of 10 for me. So yeah, don't get too offended by that. Well, I hope you're not too offended by that, but hey, if you are, hey, what can I do? That's my opinion, I guess. That's what I see in the film, and that's what I appreciate. So yeah, that wraps up my reaction video and review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Really great film. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What's your favorite Tarantino film? I bet a lot of you would probably say Pulp Fiction, but that's cool. It is a great film, you know, don't get me wrong, it's excellent. But I think this one's really great too. So, yeah, put your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, if you've watched this video all the way up to this point, consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video. I'd very much appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for this video. Catch you folks in the next one. Bye-bye.